So hi, my name's Brad Robinson. I'm the head of ICT here at the Launceston Christian School. This is my 9th year in charge of IT, and yeah, it's an awesome place to work. So before LimeWise, we had a solution in place that did allow us to filter the internet, to allow us to put restrictions in for students whilst they're on campus. When students went home at the end of the day, there was nothing for parents to help parents be part of that world of their children. I really wanted to go that next step and to be able to involve our teachers in cybersecurity, in protecting our kids in the classrooms, to be able to get parents in on that conversation as well. And I thought that LimeWise was the sort of tool that would help us get there.
As a teacher, it's really important for me to be able to focus on teaching rather than just managing what students are doing. So I think something I appreciate about ClassWise is that when I set students an online task, I only really have to spend the first 5 or so minutes just checking what they're doing and stopping any sort of other traffic that I don't want happening. And then I can really just focus on going around and supporting students with doing the task.
I think one of the real highlights for me has been when teachers have come back and said, thank you so much for this program. We love embracing technology. We want our kids to be equipped. We want them to be able to use laptops, to be able to understand the internet. All of a sudden, our kids have access to the whole world at a click of a button. And unfortunately, it means also that anyone around the world could have access to our kids at the click of a button if we don't set things up well, if we're not educating our kids, if we're not partnering with parents and helping educate them. So it's something that we're always in tension with, and I know I'm always having conversations with Brad, our head of IT, about how do we do this better? How do we help our kids navigate this world?
We really want our kids to be responsible digital citizens, so we provide them opportunities to test that out. But putting 20 plus devices in a room as a teacher is really hard to manage to make sure all your children are on task exactly where they need to be. So LimeWise gives you that ability. I was literally in a classroom yesterday where the teacher was giving children access to a site that had potential to go into other areas, so they locked it down to just that site. The children were all doing that activity, and then they would just there, that limits the distraction. I think I likened it to putting a big bowl full of lollies in front of our kids and saying you can only eat one type of lolly and not all the others. You know, putting that level of responsibility on a kid is really hard. Most adults can't handle that. So to be able to control that, to say, hey, we trust you with this much, but we don't want to expose you to things that you don't need to be seeing and learning at the moment. That's what I like about LimeWise.
So to have the insights and be able to see how my son is engaging is really important, because it allows me as a parent to speak into things. You know, like, let's not be naive about things. Kids will come across and find stuff in that. For me, it's a great tool because it means that I can either A, stop some of that stuff that he's just not ready for, or B, that I can have the conversations to help him to be a responsible online user. So a community approach for me is really important, because it means that as a community, as a parent community, as a school community, we're looking at having, you know, similar ethics and values for around our children. So it's not just when my son is at home on his device, but it's if he's visiting friends and accessing something at another person's place, that knowing that there's still those safeguards in place that help protect them from being able to access things that really students shouldn't be able to access, or children shouldn't be able to access at the age that he is. And knowing that I'm part of a community here at LCS where, you know, we uphold and instill those values is fantastic.
So looking ahead in the IT space, you know, I think our school and our community will continue to focus a lot on well-being for a student in regards to the digital world, and trying to give them the tools that they need, you know, when they leave school and when they move on in their life. What our community, I think, would love to do, and what I guess my hope and prayer is that we can equip our kids with wisdom. I think more than anything else for me, LimeWise understands what schools are trying to do in their community. This is not about just putting in a roadblock for a student. I think they understand that, I mean, these kids are precious. And we need to do all we can to protect them and to set them up for the rest of their lives. So if we can do that, and Limewise can be a part of that, that's been pretty amazing for me.